Why? Hello. Right, this is a bit of a weird one. First time I've done something like this, but oh god, the glasses, shiny little lights in the glasses. Do I take these off? Everything's blurry. At least you haven't got those awful little. The screens are in the glasses, which is a bit of a weird one. But all right. Friend of mine brewed, illegally distilled some beautiful peach vodka. And I've got to say, it's fucking gorgeous. And what a ridiculous thing. Let's be honest with you. Someone grabbed a bunch of fruit, distilled it into something that was probably about 25-30% vodka, 30% alcohol. It tastes amazing. It doesn't give you as much of a hangover as the kind of processed crap that I normally drink. First ever time I've had a bottle of this kind of stuff, and it's fucking amazing. But it's illegal. Just what the fuck? Why? See, this is why law is bullshit in so many ways. When arsehole regulations stop something as wonderful as this as being legal, no one's hurt. No one is. Well, my liver's probably a bit damaged by it, but I don't drink that very often. But tonight, as you'll soon find out, is a good night to get a bit pissed. Anyway, I wanted to give a little story. I don't really know where to start with this because there's a lot of interweaving kind of shit as any story with any meaning has. I'm almost 40, and I've spent the past 20 odd years of my life doing activism, environmental activism. I've been at road protests. I've lived in a tree. I've got arrested sitting on cars. I've done a human rights activism. I used to believe in open borders, not so much anymore. And the reasons for that is a bit more complicated. And I really can't be asked going down with this. Another episode maybe, but not this kind of ramble. I've done loads of human rights stuff, gay rights. Actually, gay rights. Why not? Fucking my favorite thing. You know, I came from a past where my first ever time I had sex was when I was 17. And it was with a lovely guy, actually lovely two guys, which is a nice way to lose your virginity. First time I kissed someone was the first ever time I got fucked by someone. That was when I was 17. It was a wonderful time. But it was illegal. Because in this country, it was fine for breeders. It was fine for heterosexual people to have sex when they were 16. But for good old faggots like me, I had to wait until I was 18 because I was not emotionally capable of knowing whether I wanted a dick in my ass, or putting my dick in other guy's ass, or having a vag to put in my mouth or my fucking cock. No, I was too immature for that. The fact I was 10 when I realised, and I had no doubt since then. Well, I did have a little bit of a doubt, but that was because of social pressure. But again, maybe another topic for another time. Ramble. So I've done lots of animal rights stuff. I'm vegan myself, and I've been vegan for almost 20 years now. And by the way, scrawniness, genetic. Desperate to try to gain weight, even when I was a fucking carnivore. Nom 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 nom. I can't gain weight. It's frustrating. Again, rambling. So anyway, the point is, I've spent over 20 years doing activism across the board. Huge variety of activism, and I believed in everything I do. And I still think almost everything I did, I genuinely think was a good cause. And I genuinely, at the time when it was being done, it meant something that was good. Not just good, but it had a relevance to society. When I was living in a tree, it was because the road system was massively expanding, and things like Newbury Bypass was going on, which was destroying an entire ancient forest to reduce the traffic of a small town for 10 years. 10 years to destroy hundreds of years worth of plant growth, just to relieve the traffic for literally 10 years. That's all it was. So it's that kind. I wasn't part of Newbury, but I was part of other protest camps up in other places. But it was that kind of activity. So they were everything that I've done, I think, is always. I look back and almost everything I've done had a place at the time when it was done. Looking back on some of the stuff I've done, you can look and say, in the context of modern times, why? But in the context of the time that it was important, and I'm glad I was doing it. And I've been part of numerous groups, from anarchist groups to hunt saboteurs. You know, and loads of kind of like small scale stuff, like trying to stop roads being built in public parks. So little community groups. I've done a huge raft of it. And it's been wonderful and fucking hard. I've been arrested a few times, to be fair. Both those arrests were a bit retarded, let's be honest with you. Once I was arrested at an anarchist protest, and I went straight to the front line in front of the cops and tried to break into an area that, if I broke in through the area, I would have hit 100 other cops. It was the most retarded thing to get arrested for. And another time was sitting on a car because they kept on trying to hit me so I can walk across the road in a protest. Again, we look back on it, fucking pointless. But you do what you do at the time because you're a human and you get driven by the moment. So you do stuff in the moment. You get driven by, you fucking lots of chemicals going in your brain, and you just do stuff. So I've done lots of stuff. I've done lots of weird stuff. But the point of this kind of thing is to sort of say, I think the main failing. Oh, again, I'm jumping huge steps. But the fundamental thing I want to describe is the main failing of the left community is it's weak and pathetic when it comes to its internal challenges. And what I mean by that is when... Oh, God, serious time. Well, a lot of shit happens that's really bad. Like when I go hunt sabbing... Oh, okay, I'm getting a bit strong. There's a lot of stuff that happens within the left community, a lot of negative stuff happens within the community, but we always put on a happy face and just put it under the covers and just hide it under the cover. It's like, if you don't look at it, it doesn't exist, I've had two friends of mine that were sexually assaulted by a particular female. So tempted to say her name, but let's not do that just yet. But there's two friends of mine that were sex assaulted by a particular female, and really badly. The sexual assault was kind of, in other countries it'd be called rape, but in this country, it's Britain, it's called sexual assault. So within the context of this country, she did stuff to their genitals whilst they were asleep, and then waking up with her literally sat on their penis inside them, and it's just, yeah, a bit dodgy. And everyone knew it. Everyone knew it happened. It was part of a social centre that was where I live, which is in Cardiff. And it was a well-known social centre, and it was happening within that area. And it's really fucked. Really fucked up situation. But what happened? Nothing. Because people within the left don't like the police. Rightfully so. We have some serious... If you knew the full history of what happened in Cardiff, we have serious history with incredibly negative police encounters, from spying on you to technically raping other women. It's a really complicated situation within Cardiff and within Britain itself, within undercover cops and the police brutality and all this kind of stuff. So it creates a very difficult situation in which the left wants to interact with the police. So generally speaking, our kind of lefty, anarchisty, kind of all the other kind of isties has issues with interacting with the police. So we don't do it. We try to police ourselves, and we do that so badly, so badly. With this particular instance, with the two cases of sexual assault, and they were genuinely fucking awful for this to happen. And if you knew more of the history of the past that came with it. You know, you can only tell what I'm saying, but it was pretty fucking bad. But again, I'm rambling a little bit. But the point is, the community did fuck all. They said, bad you. We don't like you anymore. We're not going to interact with you. Minor exile from the community, but the people who suffered still suffered. I've been in situations myself. Personally, I've suffered from this quite a lot with physical and emotional abuse. Stems throughout the entire community. But we don't include the police. We police ourselves. But because we police ourselves so badly, there is no decent resolution. At least when you go through the courts are awful. Going through the police system is awful. You've got to relive everything. But at least you get resolution at the end of it. In the community we come from, there is no resolution. You just put it under the cover and ignore it. And I've seen this over the past decade or so, and it is not healthy. It is fucking awful. And every time I see this happening... So, today, I made a kind of decision to totally remove myself from these communities. And I've been in it for over 20 years, and I've just decided that's it. That's me done. They're my friends, and they are still my friends, but as a community, I'm done with it. And this is really selfish, because whilst I was in the community, I was always supporting. I suffered my own self in many different ways, and it's like the straw that broke the camel's back kind of jobby. I've always been there to support my friends within the community. I've always been there to be an advocate for the truth, and I'm obsessed over justice and balance. Everything. There's always a consequence. For every action, there's always a consequence. And if there isn't a consequence, then you get escalation of issues. You know, if you punch someone and it's accepted with no consequences, and the next time that person doesn't act, it's like, oh, I didn't get any consequence for that. Oh, I'm going to punch them a bit harder. And there's no consequences. Because, oh, yeah, he's only a little bit worse than previously, so let's ignore it. So you get this escalation of conflict. And again, these examples, I'll go into one example, and that's later. This is my example, which is very selfishly indulgent. And when, yeah, this is. Oh God! Again, I lose my train of thought. Blame the peach vodka. In fact, let's have some more. Right, so I want to tell you a story about why I've finally decided, and this was the kind of major impact today, and this is a pretty. I hope this isn't going to ramble too long, but it's an interesting story, and I want to put this up for posterity for myself, and if anyone else listens to it and is interested in the, it's there for kind of historical record for activism or the Welsh Cardiff activist scene. It's just a record. I don't know. It's just to be fair, it's myself. I want to put this as a record for myself. I'll probably upload this, but I'm going to keep it for myself personally. But it'll probably be uploaded. Anyway, a few days back, a Facebook post appeared on the Cardiff anarchist group that I'm in, and it was about, again, I don't know the full details of it, but it was about a group called Gays Against Sharia doing a protest in Bristol. And I looked down and I thought, you know what? I'm gay, and I'm against Sharia law. Well, it's not so much I'm against Sharia law. What I'm against is the gentle mutilation of men and women. I'm against killing homosexuals for being homosexuals. Killing people for fucking being people. No. So killing homosexuals for being homosexuals. It's just fucked up. It's fucked up. I live in a country where we finally, after fucking years, and people being put into these kind of awful forced labor kind of situations simply for fucking another dude. We got over that shit. There's still some societal issues with it, but legally, we've got over it. Society takes ages. You don't force societal change. You change the law, and society will slowly change, okay? I'm not going to force people to like faggots. That's stupid. You change the law so the state can't attack you, and allow society to develop and be, I don't know how to verbalize. To allow society to develop and accept people for being people without state oppression. So I'm against genital mutilation. I'm against homosexual abuse. I'm against religious doctrines being part of law. I live in a country that is, what's the word when religion and atheism and all, secular. I live in a secular country. I don't like organized religion. I really don't like organized religion. Even if I'm like Buddhism, I don't like organized Buddhism. I like people cherry picking what they like from religions, whether it's one religion or multiple religions, or one ideology or multiple ideologies, and cherry picking what they like about it and creating their personal ideology from those images, or even just cherry picking the best parts of a book. Like the Bible is full of some fucking garbage and vileness. Like, just, ugh. But there's also some really good stories in there. Like Cain and Abel, the sacrificing of something of yours to move forward into another thing, or the false sacrifice. I'm not entirely sure of the story, but the sacrificing and not false sacrificing to get to somewhere. Again, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, the point is, there are certain stories within the kind of religious structure. I don't know enough about this to be good today. I'm just rambling, if truth be told. But there's certain, if you cherry pick the best of a group of stories that fit the modern narrative, lots of it will fall apart. Like with Christianity, for fuck's sake, don't wear mixed fibers. What? It is a sin to wear mixed fibers. That's no place. I'm sure in the past that had a purpose. I don't know what the purpose was, because I don't live 2,000 years in the past, 2,500 feet. I don't live that far away. Mixed fibers is everywhere. It doesn't affect us. It's just fucking mixed fibers. But we don't need those rules in our life anymore, so we can discard those. That's fine. Do not murder. Yeah, I'm not going to discard that. I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to cherry pick that one and say, yeah, I like that idea from that. It's a concept that spans many cultures. I like that culture. I like that concept. I'm going to put that into my personal morality. Fuck the mixed fibers. Actually, to be fair, I like cotton. And to be fair, the reason why I like cotton is because it's comfortable. But then again, I do like a bit of lycra and cotton, or lycra and a few other things. It's got its purposes. But anyway, I'm rambling. So there's every culture, every religion has some horseshit and some good stuff. And I was talking about basically gays against Sharia. Within Islam, there is a fantastic amount of horseshit and vileness and abuse and violence. It's a pretty nasty doctrine, and because if you look at the way the books are written, it's full. It hasn't really. There's some awful stuff in there, and certain parts of Islam has aspects of it that is, not quite up to our culture's way of thinking. The same as fundamental Christianity has certain things on it that doesn't fit our culture's progression within human freedoms. They don't fit. And that spans most religions, to be fair. There are parts of those religions that are good, there are parts of those religions that are bad. But my point of the story is, Islam has this kind of protective layer within our culture. I don't fully understand why. There's reason I'm starting to understand some of it, but I don't fully understand it, to be fair. I don't even partially I partially understand it in a basic format, but I want to know more about it. It is a fascinating thing to see the society's response to certain issues. All issues is fantastic to watch. I love seeing this way society responds. But again, blah blah blah. So anyway, gays against Sharia. The people who I was told, like I don't know that much about it, but within my group of people, these people are considered, the people who organise this protest are using it as, they basically call them right-wing nationalist fascists. Again, buzzword, buzzword, buzzword. They say these groups of people are not good people to interact with. We shouldn't interact with them because, you know, they believe in some of these ideas we don't like. So we're not going to interact with them. And everything they do then is going to be negative. And anything they do that sounds positive is simply a PR spin to indoctrinate people into this side of it. Okay? And the people saying this kind of stuff are the people who go to protests with people flying communist kind of flags, whereas communism has killed 100 million people. Or, as, you know, communist-based countries has caused this incredible amount of death. But they still wave their flags, you know. Wave a Nazi flag that caused, you know, I think it's about 60 million. Again, I'm really not good with numbers, but I think it was 60 million deaths. Wave the Nazi flag, you're a fucking Nazi. You wear a communist flag, 100 million deaths. It's fine, it's communism, you know. It's all about love of equality of outcome. Oh, fuck you. But we go to protest as the left. We go to protest. We have this stuff all the time. Even the fact, we see the communist symbols often, and they're not challenged. But the Nazi symbol is challenged, and they both are fucking worthy of being challenged. Okay, but the problem is we've got this kind of idea that anyone who prescribes to the Nazis are bad, rightfully so. Anyone who prescribes to communism is fine. So I go to protest knowing these two things are bad, but I go to protest for the left, you know, saving the libraries. Oh God, there's so many things I think in my head. I could think of my head if I could get past the wonderful fogginess of the brain. But anyway, we go to these protests and they got these people wearing the communist flag, and I go to them knowing these people are fucking ignorant of history, and I accept them. I go to the protest not agreeing with them, but accepting the fact that they are standing for something I am against, and a friend, the enemy of my enemy isn't my friend. It's a useful tool to use. Okay, someone who agrees with me about something is useful to me in furthering my personal view of the world. Okay, so I don't have to agree with them, but if they are useful to me and they are supporting a belief I believe in, I will support that protest. So if a bunch of commies do a protest to sort of support libraries, stopping libraries from being closed down, or supporting workers' rights, or supporting equality of law for people, I will go there and support that protest. But if they go into there and say protest quality of outcome, like protesting something retarded like BBC's, was the recent kind of thing. It's probably showing the age of this video in the future, but I've got to watch that. But showing like arguing about BBC's inequality of wages, again, horseshit. But if someone's going to protest against that, I'm not going to go to that protest because it is horseshit. So I'm not going to go to every protest they do, because I'll go to the protest that, again, I'll cherry pick the ideas of that particular belief system, and I will support that part of it. So to go back to the Sharia thing, there's a group of right-wing people. Again, I don't know the full history of it, and quite frankly, I don't really care. It is a group of people who is demonized by the friends I've got, and these group of people are doing a protest against something that I am utterly opposed of. Okay, I am opposed of male and genital mutilation. I'm opposed of attacking homosexuals being homosexuals, and I am opposed to actually loads of things, to be fair, within that kind of context. Again, there's more things on my brain. I'm gonna blame the peach vodka. But if all good things tasted this good, yeah, we'd be a bit naughty. So anyway, so I'm going to go at that protest. I'm not going to like the people as organised protest, but I agree in the message. So I will cherry pick from that kind of group, and I will support the parts of that group that I like. I'm not supporting the group. I'm supporting the idea that at that particular point that they are arguing, protesting about. So, I declare in Facebook, best place to have political discourse. So I declare in Facebook, you know, they posted this, let's protest against these gays against Sharia, and they posted this in Facebook, in my social group. And I said in there, yeah, I may go to this protest because of this, and this reason. And I got slated, as expected. You know, it's going to happen in a small, narrow-minded left-wing community that are extreme. I don't know what kind of, you know, a left-wing anarchist community. They're protesting against it. Because they don't like the people who organised it. Well, I don't like Christians, but I also support some Christian values. Oh God, why can't they see? Why can't they fucking see this simple thing? It's retarded. Why are you protesting against a group of people who are protesting against things that you agree with? How fucking stupid are you? You are protesting against a group. You are protesting against a protest against homophobic abuse. You're the fucking left wing. You should be the fucking cunts that are going out there and protesting against left wings, against gay abuse and genital mutilation. You should be fucking organising these protests and doing this. But no, you're not. And because they are not doing it, I have to go to a protest. I'm not going to organise a protest myself because I've got too much shit I'm going to do. I've organised so many fucking protests myself. I am not going to organise that protest. I don't feel guilty that I'm not going to organise that protest because someone else has organised that protest. So I am going to go to that protest. But because I'm going to that protest, holy shit, I'm the bad guy. Yep, I'm now the bad guy. So, after this kind of ridiculous discussion on Facebook, with these kind of ideologue ignorant twats that have no fucking idea about the whole issue they're dealing with, I get a phone call from a friend. And it's a friend, you know, of a number of years. And a friend, you know, there's many things about this friend I disagree with. Many things I disagree with. I won't go into them now, but again, they are pretty significant disagreements. But I accept him as a friend because they're a lovely person. They're not lovely person. They have lovely aspects of their personality, and they play games, and I like playing games, little miniature games. I like playing miniature games. You know, there is benefits to the relationship, and I've enjoyed those benefits. And they've obviously enjoyed the benefits to me, which is why they keep on asking me to come to their fucking house to play the games with them. I use the word them because it's a he to she transsexual, and quite frankly, I get really confused with this kind of shit. So I'm just going to say them, just he or she, or it insults whatever I'm going to say. It's just I don't know. Anyway, them, distraction. So I get a phone call from them, and he's kind of, I've heard you're kind of doing this, and this. It's a quarter of an hour long phone call of them kind of giving me a huge amount of abuse and saying that I'm a anti-feminist, anti-woman, Nazi supporting, capitalist, blah, 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 blah. Okay, firstly, I am anti-feminist. It's an ideology that is horseshit. It's sexist, abusive, toxic, horseshit. I may do videos on in the future, but there's loads of them on. I just fucking toxic feminism, and just, you know, you get that shit. It's not that hard to find out why feminism is a fucking toxic ideology. Anti-woman, are you taking the piss? I have so many female friends that are the most inspiring and powerful people I've met. There's some incredible people I've got in my life of all variations, and they are amazing. So the idea that I'm anti-woman, I'm anti 50% of the population. I've had someone tell me, you know, I'm the typical homosexual because I got no benefit to being around women, so I can be as unpleasant to them as possible. Yet the people I'm surrounded by are women. I don't want to fuck them, so the reason why I'm interacting with them isn't because I want to fuck them, is because they are fucking amazing human beings to be around. I got no ulterior motive other than valuing them as a fucking incredible human being. So the very idea of calling me anti-woman is just moronic. Absolutely fucking moronic. But anyway, and call me a Nazi sympathizer. Really? Yes, I'm anti-Jewish faith. Yes, I'm anti-circumcision. But that doesn't make me anti-Semitic. It just makes me anti that belief. I'm not against the people, apart from the mutilating doctors that fucking cut off young boys' foreskins and decreases their sensitivity by fucking, I don't know, a massive amount. As someone who's been circumcised as an adult, I know how much sensitivity you lose and how barbaric a thing it is. So yes, I'm against those people, but the general mass couldn't give a rat's ass. To be fair, I think in America it's something ridiculous. The sheer amount of atheist Jews in America is fucking crazy. There's a lot, watch some Jewish comedians, they're hysterical when they talk about religion. So the idea of calling me a Nazi, and to be fair, let's be fair, a Nazi, to my knowledge, I should really look at the dictionary, but to my knowledge, a Nazi is someone who is like from Germany. There was anti-gay, anti-Jews, nationalistic, authoritarian group of people. None of those. I'm anti-Judaism, but I'm not anti-Jews. I'm pro-gay, because obviously I like to fuck men. And nationalism, I'm Welsh. I like the culture I grew up in. I like the landscape I grew up in. But I'm not going to fucking like someone more because they're Welsh than they're fucking English. I have an English partner. It's just fucking retarded to call me nationalist. So that's not even a thing. Authoritarian? I'm the total opposite. Do what the fuck you want to do as long as it doesn't hurt other people physically. Do what you want to do. I don't want to control people because I don't want people to fucking control me. So there is nothing within that kind of four things that instantly pops in my slightly sozzled head that has any relationship to that. So why would I sympathize with those four things? It's fucking retarded. So there was this weird conversation. I was laughing. I was like, I said, what the fuck's going on? I said, well, I'm enjoying this conversation. I was, this was an intense conversation. It was like the end of a friendship, and I said it was an interesting conversation because it was interesting. It was this isn't happening. This conversation isn't happening. This conversation is fucking weird. For me to be accused of this stuff from someone who's known me, and then to call me a Nazi. It's first I was anti-feminist, then I was anti-women, then I was a Nazi sympathizer, and then finally, in the space of a quarter now, I had finally progressed to be an actual Nazi. It's like the new, Adolf Hitler. In any internet meme, as soon as you espouse the word, oh, you're like fucking Hitler. Okay, you've lost the argument. Fuck off. And it all happened within that period. It was a fascinating conversation in product. I got this weird thing. I can take the emotional sense, and I can also take a backseat and look at what's going on at the same time. And those two dualities is fascinating to sort of live in that world, because you can be horrified by the conversation, the kind of abuse and all the kind of weirdness that's going on. But equally so, you've got this side looking at this going, what the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my word, oh my word. What the fuck? It's just weird. So anyway, as the conversation ended, they hung up, and I was like, conversation over, okay. And then, of course, to sort of draw the story back forward, today at the Green Gathering, a kind of festival of, I kind of want to call it a hippie festival, but it's like it's got lots of lefty politics going on there, which is the vast majority of it, brilliant. I'm more of a lefty centrist, but I like the lefty politics in it. It's lovely to see it in a festival, kind of chilled out environment. It's some pretty decent music, and it's got some utter garbage. I used to be a big fan of Chris Healing. It's still, Chris Healing is still a little bit. There may be something, probably not, but there may be. I don't know. It's nice to live in certain fantasy worlds, but there's a lot of fancy bullshit going on there. Like there was a flat Earth talk a couple of years ago that was just, really, the Earth is flat and there is no space. We've never been to space because all the evidence is fake. fuck off. And there's a lot of this shit within. That's a bit more. There's a lot, you know. It's an interesting fest, and I really enjoy. And I've got a lot of history going to that fest, and I've been supporting it for the past few years. I mean, I basically feed the campaign's crew for the past 2 years. I've been feeding the campaign's crew the kind of lefty, kind of anarchist, kind of campaigns feel within the substructure of the Green Gathering. So I went there for the third year, and I fed them again, and I love feeding people. I get incredible joy, a selfish pleasure of giving joy to people. It makes me feel wonderful. It makes me feel like I've done something good, and I enjoy it greatly. So I go to these places and give free labor to do what I love, which is feeding people. They're doing stuff as a thank you for doing the campaigning that you've done through the years. This, you know, you've worked hard this year. You've done all this and this and this and this, and I want to give a symbol of my gratitude by feeding them. And I am a fucking good chef. Okay, I'm a fucking damn good chef. Many things I'm not good at, but cooking, fucking brilliant. So I want to do this for people. It's my gift to them, kind of thing, as a thank you. So this year, I go there, and I knew this person was going to be here, but you still do it. So I was there, and I fed people a particular meal. It was a very difficult meal because I couldn't quite get the flavors right. It was I've been playing with lentils and trying to do a coconut, blah blah blah. The meal was made, and it was done, and I was happy with the meal. People liked it. Good job. Good job all round. So I was walking back, and I was walking past this kind of area, and this person here was here, and call her Josie. I was walking like this, just past, a little gap in the area, and we walked past each other, and I smiled because if you have a difficult encounter with someone and the friendship has ended, and you have to spend an entire fucking weekend with them, the only thing I could think of to do, I wanted to make them feel comfortable. My kitchen is there. Come to my kitchen and eat my food. It's there for you for free. Have my food, okay? We may have issues. Our friendship may be over, but I want you at my kitchen. So I walked past. The only way I could express that was that. It was a smile and a nod to give an appreciation. It was a gesture of openness to say, look, whatever it is difference between us, I don't have the problem. Come to my kitchen and feed on it. It's the only thing I could express now was a smile, of a gesture of openness and friendliness. What do I get? That rammed into my face. Wow. I don't handle violence particularly well. So having someone's middle finger smacked into my face by someone was like, wow. So of course I carried on walking in the kitchen because I turned around and shouted, you don't have to fucking hit me. That's all I said. You don't have to fucking hit me, and I carried on walking on. So I went back to the kitchen, and to try to reduce the size, so I'm going to miss quite a few details, but and they're relatively insignificant. They're significant details. They're interesting, but I'm going to try to ignore them because I want to get the crux of it. And there was a lady that runs the. There's two people that runs the camp, and this particular lady, I basically said to her, Josie just punched me. And do you know what her first response was? What did you do wrong? I'm sorry. Josie just punched me. What did you do wrong? Are you fucking shitting me? I just got assaulted. You must have done something to deserve it. Are you fucking high? Are you fucking retarded? It's just no. Fucking no. No. Crazy. So I was a bit angry over that, but I was just kind of calm. I was like, no, I did nothing wrong. I simply walked past, and this happened, blah blah blah. And I got really upset by it at this point. I was calm, but I was upset. This may be rambling. This may be a long video now, but I'm going to keep on going because it's for me, not for you. If you want to watch it, fantastic. And I hope you enjoy the watching. But sorry, blah blah blah. So the entire evening kind of rolled on, and the guy, the duo, the guy turns up and was like, "Oh, what happened?" So I told them the story, and then they went off and told Josie off basically, and so he comes back then and tells me, what do you want to happen in this situation? And I was like, well, I want them kicked out of the field. I want them removed from this festival. He assaulted me. They should fuck off. They should be removed. Like any civilized society. If you go to a bar in this country, and if I go to a bar and I punch someone in this country, and I'm spotted, I will be removed from the bar. If I'm in the streets and I punch someone, I will be removed from the streets by the police and arrested and probably spend some time in jail, or at the very least have some severe punishment. If I'm in a museum and I punch someone, I will be removed from the museum, likely arrested. In the bar, you wouldn't be. You'd probably just be kicked out. In a festival, I don't know about festivals, you may be arrested, you may not, but you will be removed from the festival. Okay? The civilized response the response in a civilized society, if someone attacks someone else, that attacker is removed. Okay? If it is known that they were the attacker. So I asked, and Tom said to me, the other guy said to me that Josie admitted to punching me. Like, doing this and then moving a fist into my face. Okay? That was admitted. So there's this, you've got the complainer and you've got the assaulter. Both have admitted to the identical crime, therefore guilt is certain. They were guilty. They should be removed. Flat out. But anyway, the evening carried on, and I stayed up till 4 o'clock talking to a very, very dear friend of mine about this entire story to try to sort of understand the consequences with it. Because I'm really, I'll go into this in a minute, but I'm really hung up about consequences. But I was trying to understand the kind of, what do I want out of this situation? Why do I want this? Why do I want what I want out of this situation? And why should this situation resolve itself in a certain way? So we talked about it for hours, and it was incredibly complicated, very interesting, and it was wonderful. But essentially, my idea was, if you commit a physical act against violence, you should be removed. I would like to personally remove them. In an anarchist space, I could have just grabbed her and just fucking throw it out. You fucking abuse me, I'm taking power and I'm going to remove you. But we were not. It's an anarchist space, but it is a hierarchical format. And it really is a hierarchical format. They may claim anarchist space, they may claim a kind of campaigns, kind of flat structure. Horseshit. It's highly hierarchical space. And there is someone who organized it, and they have the power within it to organize everyone else. They may defer power within a kind of community system, but fundamentally, they have the power to do shit. And they did nothing. So, of course, again, I defer. If there's a hierarchy, I will automatically defer to the hierarchy. If the hierarchy doesn't respond appropriately, then I have to respond myself. So, this is what happened then. The next day, the morning turns up, after having this long conversation, a few hours sleep, so this is last night, by the way, so I'm a little bit I didn't help him with the mind focus, as you can tell from the rambling, but let's continue. So I wake up in the morning, and I finally see Chloe, the other partner of this thing, and I say, and I basically chat to her, and I can't remember the conversation, but she comes up to me, and finally comes up to me, I should say, and then we have this kind of interaction. I kind of say, well, I want Josie removed, because any civilized society removes violent elements from them. Temporary exile. Even if it's temporary exile, temporarily remove her from sight. Okay? Even if it's just for this year, and then come back next year. But this year, punishment is exile, and then come back next year. So I say that's what I want, and that's what I expect. And if that isn't happening, then I will have to take action myself. And my action myself would be removing myself. Okay, and I'll go into that in a minute. But that's why I say, remove Josie. Okay, and I spoke to loads of people before this as well. There was other people that I was feeding people breakfast, and I had quite a few people come up to get a breakfast off me, and so I talked to them about these issues, and they were horrified by it. They were generally horrified. It was like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this happening in the Green Gathering? This is a kind, calm, peaceful, pleasant, safe environment for people to do stuff. Is this actually happening? Yes, it is. And there was a lot of distaste over this. And I'm intrigued to see what's the fallout in the future is going to be of this. I'm going to keep my tabs on it, but it's going to be interesting. But anyway, blah blah blah. So I basically said to Chloe, I want Josie removed. And she said, well, we don't have a kick-out policy here. We don't remove people from site. I was like, you don't remove people from site. She's admitted to it. I've complained about it. I'm the victim. I'm telling you, remove someone who attacked someone. And you don't have a policy to deal with that. It's like, oh, no, you need to get the police involved. Okay. As I said previously, we have issues with dealing with the police because of the issues we've had in the past. So asking me to ask the police is awful. It's just no. You don't do that with this group of people. I should have contacted the police. And I wish, looking back, I'd like to have contacted the police about it. But it would have caused more pain and more discomfort because there was no kind of witnesses. Is my word against Josie's, and also the people who did hear the confession, they would have to have spoken to the police themselves and admitted to it themselves, which again is a huge amount to ask some of these people who has some awful, brutal histories with the police. It's not something I want to push on, and that to me is an act of violence, and it's an act of emotional discomfort that I didn't want to, not violence, it's not an act of violence, it's an act of emotional discomfort that I didn't want to put onto them. So anyway, to go back to the thing, so basically Chloe was like, no, you've got to contact the police if you want them removed. So again, to cut a huge rambling story short, as it turns out, they aren't going to do anything about it. And if they are not going to do anything about it, the only power I have as an individual is my own capacity for activity. My own person is the only power I have. So I removed myself from the situation. I said, okay, I am leaving. And I am leaving with my kitchen that was to feed 80, 90 people for 4 days. I didn't want to do that because a lot of people are not, there's a lot of people there that don't know what's going on and are going to suffer because of. I say suffer. I don't know if the food is going to be as good. I don't know what it is, but in my head, food is going to be more of a difficult thing because I'm taking all of my equipment and the vast majority of the food away with me because it's my stuff. And I've spent hours, 1,000+ hours working to raise the paltry amount of money it costs to get a couple of £1,000 to pay for this thing, through the charity stuff that I've done. So this is my stuff, my work, my 1,000 hours of my life. So I'm going to take that with me. And so there's consequences towards that. So my only power that I have is to remove myself and my resources from that space. So I did that. And there's a whole amount of interesting stuff that went on as well that was just stunning. But it would last, this ramble would last another 20-30 minutes if I went into all those details. They're fascinating details, but it would last so much longer. And I'm trying to be some level of containment. So I leave. And I come home after some pretty fucking nasty emotional bullshit where there was people trying to convince me that it wasn't a punch. It was, if it was a punch, there'd be a bruise. It wasn't a punch. It was a spat between two friends. It was a fucking fist in my face. It's not a punch, it's a spat between two friends. Are you taking the piss? Such weak, pathetic individuals. Like, really fucking pathetic. It's just... It's endemic within the left anarchist community that I am in at the moment. Not all. There is actually subgroups within that community that are fucking amazing and deal with this aggression and deal with conflict within the community extremely well. Like, really, really well. Badger Cull, that's happening in this country. The people who are fighting the Badger Cull, they are fucking on the ball. You're a cunt. You've hit someone. Grab them. Get rid of them. There is a witness. Grab them. Get rid of them. Not the witness. If it's correlated and they're found guilty by the community, they are removed. But this didn't happen in this case. The victim, myself, complained about it. The aggressor admitted it. 2 people. Nothing happens because... I don't know. But one thing I did say was, let's put this in the situation. And I said this to the mediator, and the mediator didn't really answer me, but it was that look of... yeah. And the question was, let's go outside now, and I'm going to punch you in the face. Excuse me. Not actually punch you in the face, but I'm going to pretend to punch you in the face. What do you think will happen? What I know will happen, she didn't want to do it. Understandably, she didn't need to do it. Why should she? It's fucking evident what would happen. But if I punched one of the women, you know, I would have literally been beaten up. I would not have slept in that space. I would have been forcibly removed. So the hypocrisy, the sexist, misandrous bullshit for this weak, pathetic, infantile environment was just disgusting. And it was, as I said, it's perfectly endemic of the left anarchist community. The misandry in this anarchist community is just disgusting anyway. It's just, oh God, it's awful. But that's another topic in itself that I'm probably going to ramble on about in another kind of rambly ramble. But the point is, the left anarchist community in Cardiff and generally in this country, is weak and pathetic when it comes to dealing with aggression. And that's tragic. That is genuinely tragic, because when something is so obviously wrong, and it's just how can you not respond to it? How can you just lie back and let that happen? If someone hits someone, I was like, oh, it's okay. And my example was, well, they basically got a slap on the wrist and told, you're not allowed to interact with the kitchen. You got to stay in your little playground, the queer dome, you know. It's not the LGBT dome anymore, it's the queer dome, where there's nothing to do about homosexuality. It's all about people who don't want to express themselves as a gender norm. Who cares? No one gives a shit. Again, this is a whole ramble about another time about the utter garbage of the kind of queer movement, the kind of non-binary garbage. You know, it's just transgender and non-binary are 2 different things. Okay, I mean they conflated and they made the same thing in this environment, and it's horseshit. But anyway, I'm rambling. So the pathetic weakness of this community to deal with aggression within their society, within their group, is so damaging. And I'm going to talk in another time about not being truthful to outsiders about the challenges of the movement, of the people, of the community, blah blah blah. And oh God, the taste is wonderful. I wouldn't name you, but you made a fucking... If you ever, an incredibly unlikeliness would ever watch this, or know someone who would watch this, beautiful, mate. Beautiful. And also, really fit. Anyway. So, today, I decided I've had enough. I've had enough of this weak and pathetic group of people that can't fucking create justice within themselves. I have no desire to interact with this community anymore. And I can ramble on for hours now. I really could ramble on for hours. This is going to be a kind of an Asperger kind of thorn in my side that I'm not going to be able to get rid of very easily. But I'm not going to ramble on any further. All I will say is this is an example of why the left anarchist community that I am in is so paralyzed and debilitated by the challenges that are within there, because they cannot deal with violence and aggression and rape and assault and all of these kind of shit that happened, all these crimes that would be done by police, but they don't engage the police, but they don't engage it with themselves. I didn't call the police myself for the reasons why I mentioned earlier on. But for the community to survive, for the community to prosper, for the community to attract people and hold people, they need to hold people to account for their activities, and they don't. And they need to do that. So anyway, I'm going to stop my rambling. I'm going to bid you a good night. And if you listen to this entire thing, thank you.